Jagdish.
Haribol.
Good man.
Jagdish. Somebody's got a brain.
A hero. He's got a big brain. Way bigger than mine.
Oh, Christ.
Yatendriyai pritagdvairayar.
Yatendriyai pritagdvairayar.
Arto bahu ganashrayaha.
Arto gunashrayaha.
Eko nan neyate tadvad.
Eko naneyate tadvad.
Bhagavan Shastra Vartma Bihi.
Bhagavan Shastra Vartma Bihi. Swamiji, it's all yours.
Yatendriyai pritagdvairayar.
Yatendriyai
pritagdvairayar.
Arto bahu gunasrayaha.
Arto bahu gunasrayaha.
Eko naneyate tadvad.
Eko naneyate tadvad.
Bhagavan Shastra Vartma Bihi.
Bhagavan Shastra Vartma Bihi.
Yata.
Yata.
As. Indriyai.
Indriyai.
By the senses.
By the senses.
Pritagdvairayar.
Pritagdvairayar.
In different ways.
In different ways.
Artaha. An object.
An object.
Bahuguna.
Bahuguna.
Many qualities.
Many qualities.
Ashrayaha.
Ashrayaha.
Endowed with.
Endowed with.
Ekaha.
Eka.
One. Nana. Differently. Iyate. Is perceived. Tadvat.
What?
Similarly. Bhagavan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Shastra. Vartma Bihi. According to different scriptural injunctions.
According to different scriptural injunctions.
Yatendriyai pritagdvairayar. Arto bahu gunashrayaha. Eko nan yate tadvad. Bhagavan Shastra Vartma Bihi. Okay. Translation. A single object is appreciated differently by different senses due to its having different qualities. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one, but according to different scriptural injunctions, he appears to be different. Please repeat. A single object is appreciated differently by different senses. Due to its having different qualities. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one.
Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one.
But according to different scriptural injunctions, he appears to be different. This is a long purport. This purport, to our perception, of course, relates to the previous purport, about appreciating the Supreme Lord as Brahman and different things like that. again, we see that so many of these verses, we're in our regular morning class now, the Anjana Sudha Academy can join us online at start meeting 992055489. You can join us every day at 7:30 a.m. our in the Nashville time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday we don't give any class because we give this class, and Friday we're back. And Saturday we do a Boise time, so it's 8:30 our time. But what we're working on now is developing the Bhakti Vedanta study guides. And it's a lot of fun, you know. So we're on the 8th canto, 7, 8, and the prayers, almost every chapter, every module so far has prayers, almost every chapter. And so many times they're identifying the Lord as He who is transcendental to this material world, who is not at all controlled by this material world, even when he enters into it, you know, and is the absolute controller of the material world, but who accepts the three modes of material nature and different incarnations and enlivens the bodies, you know, for the purpose of delivering the conditioned souls, you know, and the demigods, you know. Then there's some kind of other comments, but in many cases the Bhagavatam, you know, is not discussing, you know, Krishna's pastimes, Leela activities, you know, in the Bhagavad Gita. So it's the same way here, though Kapila is making this distinction that just be a devotee, you know. But for us, we're in this level. What's the level of Bhakti Yoga is sublime, which means you have to go from some gross state to some subtle state with no apparent anything in between. Go directly from ice to gas. You know, okay, that's a sublime jump. So Prabhupada is dealing with people who are, you know, taking LSD, marijuana, amphetamines, eating, you know, cow's flesh. Yeah, I like it raw. Yeah, and so many things, just absorbed. You know, and it's incredible. You know, and then by the process of Bhakti Yoga, he's taken to the point where they can appreciate Radha Krishna conjugal pastimes. Yeah. That's sublime. Yeah. So what happened to everything in between, like becoming a moral and ethical person, a karmi, a dekarmi to karmi, then a sukarmi, and then start to develop, think about things, you know, contemplate things, and study, investigate, become a jnani. You know, okay. And then after that, becoming a jnani, one comes to the point of vimukti jnani, you know, and then he can actually become engage in these subtle, esoteric, mystical, you know, aspects of reality, you know, associated with the Paramatma, develop all-pervasive consciousness, so many things like that, you know. Then becoming a devotee, you know. So here Kapila is not talking about karmis, yeah, he's talking about jnanis, and Prabhupada, the purport, of course, and the acharyas are giving their perspective on that. So for me, I always feel a little bit lost because I know two things. I know Vikarma, and now I'm kind of become basically Vikarma and Bhakti Yoga, you know, because I've limited my Vikarma to overeating, you know, on rich foods as opposed to beer and hamburgers, you know. But still, that's Vikarma. Okay, so Prabhupada the purport is going on with these ideas. Here he says, it appears that by following the path of jnana yoga, or empirical philosophical speculation. So we're talking about speculation, you know. 1 and 1 is 2. Yeah. What do we say? 1 Gulabjamun is good, 2 Gulabjamuns must be twice as good, 3 Gulabjamuns must be 3 times as good, 40 Gulabjamuns must be 40 times as good. Yeah. So that's speculation. But it's based upon empirical perspective, which empiricism means direct perception. Whereas you can also speculate on the basis of Shastra. The Shastras say this, so how can I apply that in this situation? These things are similar. These ideas match up. Okay, you know. But empiric philosophical speculations means looking at it. You know, all these things that happen around us, and thinking about it, and arriving at conclusion that life is miserable. It appears that by following the path of jnana or empiric philosophical speculation.
This happened. Your voice went way down.
Okay, is it okay now?
Now it's okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm talking to my cell phone here. I got to keep my finger on my nose when I'm talking. Okay, thank you. Please remind me when it drops like that. It appears that by following the path of jnana or empiric philosophical speculation, one reaches the impersonal Brahman, whereas by executing devotional service in Krishna consciousness, one enriches his faith and devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But it is stated here that both Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga are meant for reaching the same destination, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By the process of Jnana Yoga, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears to be impersonal, as the same object appears to be different when perceived by different senses. The same Supreme Lord appears to be impersonal by mental speculation. A hill appears cloudy from a distance. A hill appears cloudy from a distance, and one who does not know may speculate that the hill is a cloud. Actually, it is not a cloud. It is a big hill. One has to learn from authority that the sight of a cloud is not actually a cloud, but a hill. If one makes a little more progress, then instead of a cloud, he sees the hill and something green. When one actually approaches the hill, he will see many varieties. So this is Paramatma, right? But he still hasn't entered into a relationship with the objects on the hill. He hasn't started to drink the water. He hasn't started to pick the fruit. He hasn't started to rub the different herbs and stuff between his fingers and smell them. So Brahman to Paramatma. Another example is perceiving milk. When we see milk, we see that it is white. When we taste it, it appears that milk is very palatable. When we touch milk, it appears very cold. When we smell milk, it appears to have a very good flavor. And when we hear, we understand that it is called milk. Perceiving milk with different senses, we say that it is sometimes something white, something very delicious, something very aromatic, and so on. Actually, it is milk. So we took this picture up here from Sherman Williams of somebody with a big can of milk, but actually it's not milk, it is paint. I wonder if it feels like milk. Probably doesn't smell like milk. And probably, I guess not many people will be able to tell us what paint tastes like. Maybe painters can tell you. Splashing around everywhere like that, so on. Yeah. Similarly, we got here, those who are trying to find the Supreme Godhead by mental speculation approach the bodily effulgence or the impersonal Brahman, and those who are trying to find the Supreme Godhead by yoga practice may find him as the localized supersoul. But those who are directly trying to approach the Supreme Truth by practice of Bhakti Yoga can see him face to face as a Supreme Person. So I don't know if this is Aravinda or not. I just looked up Yogi here and got this picture. And okay, one thing that keeps coming up with me is that, realizing the impersonal Brahman, and other people too in West, is kind of like some kind of sense gratification. That we met one person. The person was leader of a big yoga institute in Lima, Peru. We have people today here from Lima, Peru. And this person was doing some kind of special yoga, very traditional yoga with a whole line like that, and very big austere acharyas. And our good yogi went one time to where the acharya was in India, and maybe one of the first times that they'd come in contact physically. And they went to the lecture, and they had this experience where they had this feeling of pleasure and happiness. It wasn't just like seeing, because feeling is more subtle than seeing. And of course sound is more subtle than that, or space perception. So then this yogi new yogi was just walking around the village all day, like shopping or something, to town, but actually said that really this looking at things almost to let the mind do something, but all day long was really just experiencing this happiness. So right now, people through yogis are getting this experience of happiness. But this is happiness, just sensuous well-being, And of course, if you're sensuous well-being, because the vision is another kind of touch, so that you're seeing things nicely, you're touched through your eyes, touching things is nice, Then of course above that is understanding, naming things and, speculative processes. So then what is this Brahman effulgence? What is it? Some people are identifying it just with a feel-good experience, which I go around with everywhere, and it lasts for a long time, and it's not dependent upon what I'm actually identifying as visual objects. So I see this, that's called this. I see that, it's called this. I see that, But whatever I see, whatever the name or the understanding is, I always feel good. Okay, so discussion. What is Brahman realization? Ultimately, the Supreme Person is the supreme destination of all different processes. The fortunate person who, by following the principles of scriptures, becomes completely purified of all material contamination, surrenders unto the Supreme Lord as everything. Just as one can appreciate the real taste of milk. Okay, so it reminds us of the verse, I think it was in yesterday's purport also. Bahunam janmanam ante, gyanavam mam prapajante, vasudeva sarvamati, sa mahatma sudurlabha. Vasudeva sarvamati. He's everything. But also, yesham tvantva gatam papam, jananam punya karmanam, Tvedvanva moksha nirmukta bhajante mam dridadvataha. So again and again, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nasochati Nakankshate. So we have to get free from the reactions of karma. Not only just bad, sinful reactions, but also good reactions. You may have experienced this. You may be put in the position where you're forced to enjoy good karma, wealth, leisure, games, entertainment, and you don't really want them. But as you can see that, your body and mind may be attracted to them. Okay. But it's there. Devotional service at a subtle level. But if we get free from this, then we can surrender. Then Prabhupada says, just as one can appreciate the real taste of milk with the tongue, and not with the eyes, nostrils, or ears, one can similarly appreciate the absolute truth perfectly and with all relishable pleasure only through one path, devotional service. So karmis, jnanis, yogis are all looking for happiness, and they experience happiness in different levels of their jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, fruitive activities. But only when we the conclusion of those has to come to to bhakti yoga. Otherwise, there's no satisfaction in the path. And one wants to know, how can I progress more, teacher? I'm not fully satisfied. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhakti amam abhijanati. So this is from chapter 18, 55, almost 1866. Bhakti amam abhijanati yavanyas chasmi tatvataha tato mam tatvato jnatva vishate tad anantaram. One can understand me as I am. Tatvataha. That means tatvataha means in truth. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. Bhakti mam abhijanati. Janati means know. And when one is in full consciousness of me, tato mam tatvagnata, tato mam tatvato gnatva. By such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Vishate tad anantaram. Ananta. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. If one wants to understand the absolute truth and perfection, he must take the devotional service. Bhaktyamam abhijanati. Of course, one can understand the absolute truth. Of course, no one can understand the absolute truth in perfection. Even Krishna can't understand himself in perfection. He's always amazed that every day he's better. That is not possible for the infinitesimal living entity. But the highest point of understanding by the living entity is reached by discharge of devotional service, not otherwise. By following various scriptural paths, one may come to the impersonal effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The transcendental pleasure derived from merging with or understanding the impersonal Brahman, merging with or understanding the impersonal Brahman, merging with or understanding, two different things, okay? Merging with or understanding the impersonal Brahman is very extensive, because Brahman is Ananta. Tad Brahma Nishkalam Anantam. Brahmananda is unlimited. But that unlimited pleasure can also be surpassed. That is the nature of transcendence. So here we have Bhaktivinoda Thakur has a bigger smile than Aravinda. They're both Bengalis. The unlimited can be surpassed also, and that higher platform is Krishna. When one deals directly with Krishna, the mellow and humor relished by reciprocation of devotional service is incomparable. So reciprocation, okay. So Krishna wants to be a devotee. How does that go? Krishna Madhva Rasha Abuta Swabhava Apaneya Svarite Krishna Karya Bhakti Bhava. Krishna Karya Bhakti Bhava. Devotional service to Krishna is so wonderful that Krishna himself wants to come and try it out. So it's a reciprocation. We're doing things for Krishna, and Krishna is trying to thank us by not only, business guy, okay, you gave me $5 worth of flowers, here's $5. He's trying to surpass us, and appreciating how nice it is to serve, The reciprocation of devotional service is incomparable, even with the pleasure derived from transcendental Brahman. Krishna Madhurya Eka Adbhuta Swabhava Apane Ashvarite Krishna Karya Bhakti Bhava. And here's Lord Chaitanya, of course, having a very, very good time at the Ratha Yatra. Foam was coming from his mouth. We don't see that happening at Disneyland. I guess, it's in some ways the highest idea of material enjoyment until maybe you're 8 years old or something is Disneyland. And I guess even adults, with some things. So, but we don't see people on the rides at Disneyland with foam coming from their mouth and tears coming from their eyes like a squirt gun. And of course, this foam tasted like cotton candy, like that. And what Lord is squirting may have been like, lemonade. Yeah, all wonderful energies exuding from the Supreme Lord. And of course, himself enjoying dancing. When he would jump up and down, come down, the whole earth would shake, and his body would like spin like a firebrand, going from here and there. So it's incomparable, the pleasure derived from transcendental Brahman. Okay, what is it? It's incomparable. It's above it. Prabodhananda Saraswati, who's an incarnation of Tunga Vidya, who when we're facing Radha Madhava, he's on our extreme left. Yeah, his humor is more tolerant. If Krishna is late for Radharani's birthday party, 10 minutes or something, then she's all over his case, chastising him everywhere in the world. And then Prabodhananda Saraswati Tunga Vidya, maybe saying, Lali, calm down, give the guy a chance to explain. Maybe he has a good excuse. But there's no possible good excuse that Lalita will accept. So different humors. We're, of course, in this Lalita Sampradaya coming through Swarup Damodar. But Prabodhananda Saraswati also has specific succession, and the Acharyas, they quote him. Prabodhananda Saraswati therefore says that Kaivalya, the Brahman pleasure, is undoubtedly very great and is appreciated by many philosophers, but to a devotee who has understood how to derive pleasure from exchanging devotional service with the Lord, this unlimited Brahman appears to be hellish. Kaivalyam narakayate tridasha pura akasha pushpayate durdantindriya kalasarpa patali pukkatadam strayate vishvampurnam sukayate vidi mahindradischa kitayate yakarunya kataksham vibhavatam tam gorameva stumaha. This is from Prabodhananda Saraswati's Chaitanya Chandramrita, his glorification. And in some purports, Prabhupada quotes text number 6 also. And I couldn't find any Prabhupada giving like an exact translation, so this is kind of what I put together. Kaivalya narakayate. Of course, narak is hell, right? Kaivalya appears hellish to a devotee, and Tridasa Pura, the 3 worlds. The heavenly planets appear like phantasmagoria, pushpayate. Pushpa means like flowers in the sky. Durdantindriya kalasarpa patale. Potkathate dhangstrayate. And the senses appear like serpents with broken teeth. It's a very terrible looking snake, but his teeth are all broken. You laugh at him, slap his face. Okay. Vishvampurnam sukayate, vidi mahindradis chakiyate. So the whole world is a replica of Vaikuntha. It's full of happiness, the whole world. Yakaruna katakshan vibhavam vatam tam gorameva stumaha. This is the mercy of somebody who's taken the shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, one should try to transcend even the Brahman pleasure in order to approach. Therefore, one should try to transcend even the Brahman pleasure in order to approach the position of dealing with Krishna face to face. As the mind is the center of all the activities of the senses, Krishna is called the master of the senses, Rishikesh. The process is to fix the mind on Rishikesh, or Krishna, as Maharaj Ambarisha did. Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayo. Bhakti is the most basic principle of all processes. Without bhakti, neither Jnana Yoga nor Astanga Yoga can be successful. And unless one approaches Krishna, the principles of self-realization have no ultimate destination. So this is, again, any of these processes, if you're doing the yoga asanas or karate katas, some fruitive work, they'll give you principles for how to become rich, different kinds of self-development courses. And they work, but they'll tell you these principles are there, but you got to apply them. Plan your work and work your plan. So you see it right here as devotee, that they're telling you that all these processes without actual application, actual application, to buy auto insurance, that all these processes without bhakti, what do they say, determination, sweat. Genius is 10%, success is 10% genius and 90% perspiration. Genius is 10% inspiration and 90% perspiration. So many phrases you can see they were saying again and again is bhakti, And then the bhakti is a science. There has to be, vibhava. Because we're not going to have bhakti unless we get stimulated. Krishna is the aggressor. He's the guy that sets it all off, So he comes along and smiles at us or lets us hear the sound of his bells dancing in the Ras Leela, And then we become stimulated to go ahead and develop our activity like that, So it's a whole science, bhakti yoga. And of course, Nectar of Devotion is a complete science of bhakti yoga. In some ways, the Purport Prabhupada seems to be kind of saying to enjoy yourself, you want to get more pleasure than Brahman, we should engage in bhakti yoga, But the other side of the thing is that to give more pleasure to Krishna, because if we follow the rules and regulations of the kingdom, then the king is happy. He looks at people, they're following the rules and regulations, and he's happy with them, and he talks with them, maybe, and salutes them, hello, and he's encouraged to go ahead and do his job, But then if somebody tries to take up and find out what's needed, like this and that or something in terms of this government commission, or in terms of draining the swamp and stuff, and then begins to know him, in more detail, okay, more happy, sitting on committees, commissions, not just a citizen. And so then when you discover that, that actually you have relationships, that that both of you have the same aunt, and then, oh, so-and-so, you're so-and-so, oh, so you know about that catastrophe at Uncle Jack's birthday party. That was hilarious, wasn't it? Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. So then the king likes this. The king likes to be a person, So many stories about this, about the king, and actually ultimately he's not just a role or a face, he's actually a person with his own personal desires and likes to eat simple food. Yeah, he's terrified on his wedding day like anybody else. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, that's our kind of comprehension of this verse and Lord Kapila's instructions to Devahuti to be a devotee and not be a Brahmavadi. So, any comments, questions, complaints? Yeah.
Why is it not working? I'm testing? Okay, I'm going to refresh my screen to see why it's not happening. You can hear me, right?
Sir, I can hear you. It is my great pleasure.
This is so bizarre. Okay, so I refreshed my screen. It got stuck for some reason. Anyway, sorry.
Norris, what was the verse you were searching for, and then you seemed like you caught it and quoted it, where the Lord Chaitanya wanted to taste the ecstasy of becoming a devotee? It sounds like a verse I want to learn. What is that verse?
Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Madhurya Eka.
Let me just write down the first couple of words. Krishna
Madhurya Eka. Adbhuta. Krishna Madhurya Eka. Adbhuta Swabhava.
Okay, I got enough.
Adbhuta Swabhava. Apane Ashvarite. Krishnakarya something. I saw it one time. It's not a verse I think the Acharyas use much, but it's just like, one verse that I just struck it, and it was like, Krishna. Remember, you get a refresher every now and again. Anyway, the devotional service is so nice that Krishna himself incarnates to relish and taste it fully.
No, it sounds like a good preaching verse.
Yeah.
When explaining about how sweet devotional service. I'll find it. Thank you. It's in CC. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Isn't it nice? Isn't database.com that nice? As long as you can get just a couple verses, you can track down what you're looking for.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. I use it all the time. You wonder how the Acharyas, way back when, how they wrote all these shastras and did all this study. Nana shastra charanai kanipano. They went and studied all. By the way, we have the word nana in here in our.
Exactly, same thing. I was thinking.
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, so they're studying all the shastras. They didn't have database and all this great stuff where you just put in one word you're looking for and you can find where it appears everywhere. And we are so.
If you recognize some word like nana, what's that from? You say it over and over again.
Nana shastra vikara
naikanipanno your memory starts like kicking in with the associated references.
Yeah.
So the computer works almost exactly the same way as your mind works. If you've got a very fine, clean, pure, reactive mind, Wow.
Whereas your voice is muffled again.
Yeah, is it okay now?
No.
No, it's good now. And another really good one, which I want to become more expert at, I think Vedanta uses it a lot, is Vanipedia.
Yeah. See, I'll tell you, two important things. One is that a word from our sponsor, Start Meeting. We've been using it since 2013, I notice now. But there's no app, for a Windows phone. So when I go traveling, I can't use it on my Windows phone, And I keep complaining about this. We don't do anything, And so then I'm thinking about changing over to GoToMeeting because it has like an app for Windows phone. But the problem is I have all this stuff stored, like conferences we've done and lectures and stuff on Start Meeting, And so one devotee finally is enthusiastic about downloading it and moving it, So somebody's banging away there, Somebody's typing or something. My God, okay, So we look back at some of the older stuff, and it's all been erased. It's all been erased, and I never erased it. And so that's this warning there that if you're depending upon Start Meeting for archiving some of your stuff, be a little careful. You may not do it. The other thing is that Prahlad Nrsinga, our disciples, he's the person who does the database.com, and he has this like natural, like programmer's rivalry, they don't know programming, whatever else and so on. It's natural, feminine rivalry and, everybody, So anyway, he in Vanipedia, he'll start talking about the Vanipedia and the program. It's like this and that, and we're introducing a better program and stuff, There's a whole world of software, ISKCON software nerds. Yeah.
What was his name, Maharaj?
Prahlad Nrsinga. He's from the Czech Republic.
Can I make a suggestion since we're talking about this? You mentioned it?
Yes.
With the new one, when you pull it down, the top comes down with the menu and different options, and it like blocks out about a fifth of your screen, and it's really annoying. To get it to pop back, you got to scroll down about half the page until it finally pops up again. And then when you try and pull it down again to see the text, again that menu pops down, and it hides, like a fifth of the screen.
Okay, I'll try and mention mentioned to him. See, some of these things, what it is, they're what they call, boilerplate, right? Is that if you include it and this and that, so he's trying to like adjust it and do everything else. Part of the problem he has is that to transfer the different languages is not very difficult. To bring them in, but it has kind of some manual work has to be done to bring the stuff in. So in terms of updating, transferring all the files from the old version to the new version, then because I'm interested in Spanish preaching, we've really been working on the Spanish section, Spanish language. Did I tell you about his comment about Audi?
No.
He says in Czech Republic, the doctors are very, very famous for making money through their corruption, but the lawyers are more famous, and the worst, he said, are actually the what do you call it, the customs guys, the import guys. So he said one man went to a doctor and he said, "Hey, how long did it take you to buy Audi?" And the man said, "Oh, 6 months." And he asked the lawyer, said, "How long did it take you to buy Audi?" And the lawyer kind of looked and said, 3 months. Then he went to one customs guy and he said, "Hey, okay, how long did it take you to buy Audi?" And the guy looked and he shook his head and he said, "Oh, maybe 3 years." And the man said, "Hey, you're the most famous for taking all this money." And the border guy said, "Yes, but Audi is big company."
Didn't get it.
Yeah, Audi is big company. He was talking about buying the entire company like that.
Oh.
They were talking. Yes.
I didn't get it either.
You only get it if you're speaking with an accent. Yeah. Audi is big company. Yes. Anyway, he's a funny guy. His father loves bells. Yeah.
Actually, maybe
so much opportunity. Yeah. Yes, sir.
It may be a 6 of the screen, but anyway, it's that automatic pull down. It's really annoying. Anyway, I had a question. We had this discussion about a week ago. It was about how bhakti is not dependent on any other system of yoga, and as a matter of fact, all the other systems of yoga are dependent on bhakti, which is the point that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur makes in the Madhurya Kadambini and many other places, just in Srila Prabhupada's purports. So the way you just presented it, that bhakti is the basic principle of all of the processes, as it's stated in the verse, was that in order to become successful in karma, jnana, ashtanga, yoga, etc., you have to have like bhakti, which is, I can't exactly remember the exact words, but more like an honest endeavor, really focused determination. Bhakti was being seen like that, which was what we just discussed recently. So is it that real determination, putting all your endeavor into it, that's what's referred to as becoming successful in the other yogas? Or is bhakti to please the Lord and to try and reestablish your relationship? In other words, devotion. Because devotion can mean different things. Because
that's the point. Because, for example, when Krishna says, is my understanding, when Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, but those who worship the demigods, right? He says, I give them the intelligence and determination to do it. Right? Because you can't do it. I mean, ultimately, it's just not your nature, to worship these guys for these temporary things, So Krishna has to give you this determination to worship the demigods and go ahead and enjoy this stuff, What? I get a call coming in. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it's just not our nature, and so we're not stimulated. So it's love for God. That's the ultimate goal. But in these other processes, we don't know it. What we're after like that. I can give them citations. For example, Walt Whitman. Walt Whitman, famous philosopher, poet, mystic. He said, life is a spiral. I meet the same men, the same women, same situations again and again, but each time higher, higher. He said, life is a road. He says, where does it go? I don't know, but it goes someplace good. Yeah, so he's convinced of that. He's convinced about life and endeavoring and everything else, and a lot of sannyas principles in his philosophy, But it's not clear. You know, it's not clear, and so the stimulation is not there. The motivation to do it. You know, yeah. But if you apply if Krishna is giving us a jnana yoga, the king is giving us rules, and if we apply them sincerely, just do that, sincerity, then we'll advance like that. So that's what I would say is the active principle. Again, determination, bhakti is just manifest in different ways. It's our giving, our determination to accomplish something.
So in the definition of bhakti or devotion, it's faith in and devotion to the endeavor, whatever it is.
And I would say it's manifest that way. But of course, the ultimate manifestation is for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then of course somebody else will say for Ram, and somebody else will say for Dwarkanath, and somebody else will say for Yashodanandana, and somebody else will say for Gopinath.
Then would it be possible to perform karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga without knowing that the goal is the personality of Godhead, and without even being aware of it?
Yeah, that's why it's called that. It's probably saying the yoga ladder. It's all yoga. It's all yoga, right? But he says on different levels of realization development, it's called by different names. So we're getting a general motivation, a general vibhava, and a general object for our focus. Is someplace good. Yeah. Myself, many times I just have no, stimulation by thinking of Krishna by himself. So, some pictures. There's a picture in the hallway of the Houston Temple ashram when you're going downstairs. It's so stimulating. But when I think about Vrindavan Dham, okay, I'm stimulated. Someplace good. Someplace is just going to be a fun place. And with Krishna there. So I'm still basically in many ways on a Brahman level.
Krishna Maharaj, this is Balabhaja, in pursuance to what Ramananda was asking, because actually I had the same kind of a question. It sounds like from this very last sentence of Prabhupada's purport that one can practice jnana yoga or ashtanga yoga, but my understanding of yoga as a devotee is that it's a type of devotional service. It's bhakti, and bhakti is only really possible if you're making a conscious decision, whereas without that conscious decision, it's ajata sukriti.
You make a conscious decision to not eat too much. Yeah. Why? Okay. And that's the question. What is it for? So I'll be clear-headed so I can be intuitive and deal with my patients properly and so on. Then your Paramatma body, so on. So if you don't want to make any progress, that you want to be stuck on the jnana level where you don't have to see Krishna as a person and surrender like that, then you get stuck up in that process and you're engaged on the jnana yoga level, and Krishna's accepting. So that's again my realization of this thing.
And from another perspective, then it sounds like because we share, like in the verse of the Chaitanya, Krishna Bhakta Naishkama Ateva Shanta Mukti Siddhikami Sakali Ashanta, for example. So the jhanis and the yogis, they're not able to succeed independently because they have to have some ajata sukriti in them. Otherwise, there's no question of success in their endeavors without that ajata sukriti. That's what I think I'm hearing.
To me, I'm not really how the agyata sukriti. Well, what it means? It means unknown good works, unknown good works. And so I guess it could be applied also in terms of karma. Because you can in other words, we can step on bugs, we can we can burn bugs when we start the fire, so many things like that. So then we have Agyata Durkriti. Agyata Durkriti going along. But when it's related to advancing in devotional service, that's because what? Because the opportunity has been there and unconscious. But I think that somebody who really doesn't want to approach Krishna, he'll just get the smell of this thing, that if I smile back at this guy with those books, I'm approaching God. So he won't, Whereas somebody else, Krishna kind of slides it past him, and he has a reciprocation on a very subtle level.
Thank you very much. I was just laughing at what you just said because it just had a sense of humor to it. But thank you very much, Durkriti. Yeah.
If you appreciate Ronald McDonald, Agyata Durkriti. Okay, so I guess maybe thank everybody here. I don't have any more.
Can I add something to the mix?
Oh, please, yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Okay. This purport reminded me of a story. It's an ancient story from India that also works. And it's 6 blind men and an elephant. And a group of blind men heard that a strange animal called an elephant was brought to the town, and none of them were aware that they didn't know what an elephant was. So out of curiosity, they decided to inspect it by touch. And one of them found the trunk, and then he thought, oh, this creature's like a snake, a thick snake. And then another one reached up and touched felt the ear and thought, oh no, he's like a fan. And then another one, he came across one of his legs and he says, it's like, this creature's like a tree. And then another one came up to the side of the elephant, put his hands on the side, and no, he's like a wall. And then another guy found the tail, and he said, no, it's like a rope. And then another guy found the tusk, and he says, no, he's smooth like a spear. So it's like the milk example in the purport, that you can perceive things differently. And a nice resolution in one of the versions of the stories is a wise man comes who's not blind, and he resolves the issue by saying that they were all partially right. They're having some partial experience of this elephant. And so as devotees and as purport, we understand the absolute truth in total by the grace of Guru and Shastra. But the only way to really understand the Lord is to surrender and offer service, and then he's pleased to reveal himself as he is. All other processes, material sense perception, mental speculation, subjective experience, philosophical inquiry, they're only going to be partially successful. Oh, so you found did you have that in your presentation? Or who posted that?
No. I just pulled it up. Yeah. There's.
Oh, okay.
There's many pictures.
It's a great
of it.
story.
Unlimited pictures of it. Yeah. I've heard it was an Arab story. Someone told me I felt cheated. They told me it was an Arab story, and I thought,
Well,
it's not
the Buddhists tell the story. There's versions of it.
But
it goes way back. And this one English poet, I think his name is Goffrey.
Okay.
He claims, and his poem starts with 6 men from Hindustan. He traces it back to India.
Oh, yeah. Kind of a little bit, yeah. There's a nice one, huh?
Okay. Yeah. So
here's a question for you.
Research.
How does an elephant experience 6 blind men?
Probably nervously.
Probably with his nose, he's going to smell him.
he's being fondled by 6 men.
Yeah,
so he's not
with the tusk. The tusk
that
he can't.
happy.
Yeah, and so he's pulling on his tail. Yeah, yeah. Maybe somebody's babbling in his ear. Okay. Yeah. So maybe the elephant's trying to figure out what people are. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It sounds like a Madame Mohan.
Anyway, it's a nice way to harmonize.
Oh, it's an incredible
religious
we did a whole.
conceptions.
We did a whole one time we did this whole thing for an interfaith dialogue program we had, and we had the kids do it, and they got into it really. It was really easy for them to do it and stuff like that and so on. And I went to Goodwill and found an old piece of big sheet like that. And I got the picture and just laid it out, the dots, and got some paint, and I painted the elephant and stuff. And I still have it. It's a wonderful thing for Harinam. You can just pull it right out. I mean, that's the whole thing is street theater. You can just take a few things along with you and pull them right out in the public and that, and wow, and people, they don't forget. They go around the rest of their life with that analogy and stuff. Wow.
In New York, they used to do this street theater where someone would act like they're drowning, and then someone would run up to them and grab a coat.
Somebody else grab his wallet. Oh, his name is so-and-so. He belongs to so-and-so. Wow. I mean, street probably wanted it right in the very, very beginning. Street theater is just, wonderful. There's little books on gorilla. One of them, for example, you can buy these weather balloons, and you put some you get a little helium in them, and then what you do is you put like a big face of a capitalist, big face of a lady, and then have them up there and kind of move them up and down, and have your bullhorn and stuff, and that right away, wow, we're going to be going on Harinam, and when we get to Texas, they said, oh, we have a good program, and they have a farm now within 15 minutes of the temple. They got this property. It's amazing. So, they got some bigger lots, and they got cows, They got a new calf. So I told them, just take the calf along on Harinam, and you're going to get so much more traction. Walking out with a little calf and stuff and chanting. So many ways you can increase Harinam. Wow. Theaters, dramas. Wow. Yeah. Take over the world. Okay, yeah. Well, 12:05. Yeah. Okay, I guess I should be going, I got to deal with this. So what's happening? Nobody plans ahead, and all of a sudden, the last week before we're traveling, everybody's starting to scream in and say, "Can we do this? Can we do that? We can't do this. We can't do that." And I've got to pack up and figure out what I'm going to be taking, because theoretically, I'll be almost gone all the way until March, traveling and stuff. My God is.
So when are you leaving?
Well, we'll be in the U.S. We go August 1st. We go to Texas, 2 weeks, and then we go to California, Rapiata, 2 weeks, 1 week. Then Boise, Idaho. It's another joke. 1 week. Then we'll be in Spain, and then for 2 weeks. I guess it's like the first 2 weeks in September. We won't be able to log on. And we'll be back in down at Nashville for our festival. Everybody's invited from the 12th. So something like 22nd. Then we'll go to South America. So October and November we'll be in South America. Yeah.
So it's not until September that you would be out of touch?
Yeah, this is the first 2 weeks of September, and I'll be back, for 1 week. So basically, yeah, from the beginning of September we'll basically be gone until November. So September, October, November. Yeah. So maybe we'll log in and listen sometime. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Maharaj.
Well, thank you all very much. One of our essential parts of our week. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you so much for the class.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Okay. It's 20 people here.
Right,